Have you ever faced a moment in life that felt like the worst thing that could possibly happen, only to realize years later it was a blessing in disguise? Today, I want to tell you a story from ancient China about a farmer, his horse, and the unpredictable nature of life. It's a story that teaches us one of the deepest truths of existence. We are often too quick to label events as good or bad, but life is far more mysterious than that. There was once an old farmer who lived in a quiet village. He wasn't rich, he wasn't powerful, but he had a small piece of land, a son who worked beside him, and a single strong horse that helped plow the fields. One day, the horse ran away. The villagers gathered around, shaking their heads. "What terrible luck," they said. "Without your horse, how will you plow your land? How will you survive?" The farmer looked at them calmly and replied with just 4 words. "Maybe yes, maybe no." He didn't argue. He didn't complain. He didn't cry out against fate. He simply went back to his work. A few days later, something unexpected happened. The farmer's horse returned, and it wasn't alone. It had brought with it a small herd of wild horses running straight into the farmer's corral. Now the villagers were amazed. "What wonderful luck!" they exclaimed. "Now you have not one horse, but many. You are rich. Your farm will flourish." But the old farmer simply smiled and once again said, "Maybe yes, maybe no." The farmer's only son began training the wild horses. Day after day, he worked with them, trying to tame their strength. But one morning, a horse kicked fiercely. The boy fell to the ground, breaking his leg. The villagers rushed to the house. "Oh, what terrible luck!" they cried. "Your son is crippled. He cannot help you in the fields. How will you manage?" And once again the old farmer, calm as the morning breeze, replied, "Maybe yes, maybe no." Not long after, war broke out across the land. Soldiers came to the village, demanding that every young man join the army. Many sons were taken away, and most would never return home. But the farmer's son, with his broken leg, was spared. The villagers wept for their own losses, but they looked at the farmer with new eyes. "What great luck," they whispered. "Your son is safe. Truly you are blessed." And as always, the farmer said softly, "Maybe yes, maybe no." This story has survived for centuries because it carries a truth that is both simple and profound. How often in our own lives do we label events as good or bad the very moment they happen? We lose a job, we think it's the end of the world. We get rejected by someone, we think we've failed. But who is to say? What seems like misfortune today may open the door to a new beginning tomorrow. And what feels like a blessing today may carry struggles we cannot yet see. The Taoist masters understood something we often forget. Life is far too complex to be judged at first sight. The only wise response is patience, acceptance, and trust. So the next time something happens in your life, whether it feels like a miracle or a disaster, remember the farmer's words. Maybe yes, maybe no. Life is not finished yet. The story isn't over. Give it time. Let it unfold. Because what seems like the worst day today may one day turn into the greatest blessing of your life. Tell me, in your own journey, have you ever experienced something that felt like bad luck, but later turned out to be a gift? Share it in the comments. Your story might be the hope someone else needs today.